glad to be back on our podcast called the Logic Speak Podcast. I'm Adam Bieber. This is Jason Etheridge. We both love working at Logic Speak and putting together these podcasts. And this is our third episode that we're recording. Yep. Man, I'm excited because you and I were just chatting a little bit before we hit record about something that you and I both, I think, almost equally have become very passionate about. And it's something that we call the backyard principle.
Yep.
And really it is how we live our mission in the community. It is a piece of our business development strategy. And it is just part of who we are. It's our DNA. So let's talk a little bit about it. The backyard principle concept is super simple. It's to serve our community right here in our area.
Yep.
I've mentioned before, our mission is to use our ability and technology to have a positive impact on the lives of our clients, employees, and community. And today I just want to talk about the and community piece.
Which is the newest member of our mission statement.
That's right. So how long ago did you add and community?
Oh, me and dates, that's a bad idea. Probably 5 or so years ago, we recognized that the mission statement as it was created really was too inwardly focused.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Our clients and ourselves, and it just felt like it was, keeping our hands closed and the idea that everything was for our own use. And so it just didn't go far enough. And so it was the only change we've ever, that we made to this current mission statement. And we added in community because we really wanted what we do to intersect with and impact our community, that it's not all for our use. It's not all for us. We're not here, trying to make enough money to drive Ferraris, but that we want to show up in our communities and we want to take what we've been given and what we can do and how we can contribute and give it back to our community.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we've kind of evolved over the last year of really creating a process for our clients and our prospective clients within our sales organization and also our business development strategy, we kept coming back to this backyard concept.
I think it was almost like an aha moment where these two things that seemed separate as we were working on our, let's call it a sales strategy, even though that's not, but we were kind of working on like, what are we going to do this next year to impact our community or to be part of the community from a sales perspective. And also, hey, this is our mission as well. And we do all these great things in the community. We volunteer at places like Hemophilia of Georgia and North Fulton Community Charities and all these places. But then we realized that, wait a minute, these aren't two separate things.
No.
These are one and the same thing.
Very much the same.
Which became the backyard principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people think, well, or maybe they have this goal and this dream to like have, I just want to impact the world. I was having a conversation not too long ago with a young professional, and we posed the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she's like, I just want to change the world. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. But at the same time, also, it's like, you know what? That's admirable. And it's okay to want to change the world. And for us, I think what we realized was the best way for us to change the world is to start right here, to start here in our greater North Fulton, Metro Atlanta area, and look for areas that we can show up consistently for the people that we're showing up for.
Yeah. I think it's a fallacy, maybe is a little too strong of a word, but it's a fallacy to assume that changing the world is Steve Jobs level changing the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Clearly the man had an impact in our world, or anyone else like that, Bill Gates, or those are two technology examples, but people that have shown up on the international stage.
Yep. Mother Teresa,
for example.
Yep.
And so it's easy to feel less than, right? Like, well, I'm never going to be Mother Teresa, or I'm not going to have a billion or $1 trillion company like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. But changing the world starts with one person at a time.
Yep.
And it really starts with you. It starts with you, with being self-aware, like we talked about in our last podcast. Yeah. That's how you start changing the world. And then it's your direct line of family and friends and
circle of influence.
Circle of influence. There you go, COI. And then as an extension of that, your company.
Yeah.
That's why we want to have a positive impact on the lives of our employees. That's our version of changing the world and continuing to go out from the center.
Yeah.
And then the logical addition of that is not logical. I said logical. Clients and community, and then ultimately that will grow. People will come and leave that community, and it doesn't mean that you won't have a world reach. It just means that we're focusing on the area that we can right now with the resources that we have.
Yeah.
And using the resources to leveraging those resources to have a positive impact on our community.
Yep. Well, and something like changing the world is subjective, and so you can change so many people's world,
right,
and their perception of the world by showing up.
Yep.
And one of the things that we've talked about is it's not about trying to be in as many places as possible. It's about intentionally choosing, because it's a great thing that there's so many nonprofit organizations and so many avenues of places that you could pour resources, time, and energy into. And so it was us deciding, okay, where are we going to show up and where are we going to show up often?
Right.
And being that I hold the business development director position here in our organization, if I show up and all I'm there to do is to find our next client, I'm completely missing the objective of our mission.
Absolutely. And people know that.
Yeah.
People can see right through that.
100%.
If the goal is to impact the community, you'll get clients.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
But if the goal is to get clients, you won't impact anybody.
You won't impact the community, and you probably won't get as many clients.
Nope.
And so showing up often and showing up for people has really been the thing that we have chosen to prioritize. You've already mentioned, we volunteer with Hemophilia of Georgia. I actually sit on an advisory council with them. North Fulton Community Charities, an organization like the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, where you serve on the board.
Right.
And we invest a lot in sponsoring events and things that impact other businesses and kind of the economic engine of our community. That's a big deal to us.
Yep.
Because when we can give and invest in others, like you said, that the clients and the relationships will follow, but the priorities have to be in order.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite things that we've kind of realized throughout this process is, as a result of taking the focus away from self-seeking, self-serving priorities, I think it's safe to say, and I want to say this humbly, that in the last 18 months, our name and our brand is so much more present in the community than probably ever before. I think I've heard you say
combined.
If you take all 20 years combined and then you take the last 18 months, like, we have done more to positively impact the community. And from a business development perspective, our brand is so much more recognized than it ever has been. And that's just such a neat byproduct.
Yep. I think one of the kind of examples of that is last year when we won the Community Service Excellence Award.
Yeah, for sure.
With the Chamber. And what I said briefly when I got to accept the award, one was thank you, and ultimately for the people here at LogicSpeak that made that happen. But really, at 20 years, to stand on a stage and be known for how well and how much we give back to the community. Yeah. That just warmed my heart. Like that's the bullseye. That's what we're here for. Yeah. There's all kinds of things we could have been recognized for, and I would have been grateful for all of them. But it was especially sweet to be able to stand and accept that award for service. That made it very poignant and very special.
Yeah, that was such a great representation or culmination of effort and intentionality to pursue that. And what I love too is that as an organization, we support our team members, diving into the passions that they have in areas that they want to serve. So as a team member, anybody can wave their hand and say, hey, I think we should, spend a lunch hour and make sandwiches for a homeless shelter, which we did. We canceled a team huddle, and instead we all stood around the ping pong table, sanitized, of course, and made sandwiches.
Ham and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which was like 200 sandwiches in like 28 minutes.
It's as fast as I've ever seen sandwiches be made. That's for sure.
And we had a great time doing it. We all were able to connect with each other, pause, step away from our desks for a minute, and just serve. And what seems like such a small lift for us, on the grand scheme of things, could have had a tremendous impact on on someone who received a lunch that day.
I was going to say it fed people.
Yeah.
It actually fed people.
Yeah.
Which is, being hungry is not, that's, thankfully we live in a community where you and we don't have to be hungry.
Yep.
Any day that we choose to eat. But not everyone can say that. And there's food insecurity right here in our own town, in our own city, in our own county.
Yep.
And so that was particularly special to be able to contribute that and to be able to help feed people.
A couple of years ago, you've talked about this too, and just some of the things you've posted about recently. But as an organization, you guys decided to kind of up the ante and really give us freedom, liberty, and the ability to go and serve for longer periods of time through taking advantage of VTO.
Yeah.
And I've told you this. I know people that work at large corporations. I've got a couple of friends that work at companies like Salesforce. They get VTO, which is awesome, but it's a perk for a huge tech company. This is the first time I've seen a local business, the size that we are, actually take this on and do this.
Yeah, Why? It was. So we heard about it, I think probably from a larger company, that had done it, and Ashley and I were dreaming about, wouldn't it be great if we could do that here?
Yeah.
And then we decided, well, why can't we do that? And so, the way that it works is that as long as it's volunteering, it can be at your son's school, it can be at a charity. It has to be volunteering your time.
Yep.
You get up to a week. You have to obviously get approval for it ahead of time so that we can make sure that we're actually accomplishing. But we don't tell you where you have to volunteer.
Yeah.
That's for each employee.
Yeah.
To be able to show up in the community, in their community, in the community that's important to them. And we did it because we didn't just want to have company sponsored things that we want to focus our efforts on. We wanted to empower our employees to go and do that and to be hands and feet in the communities in which they live and serve and support and all the things.
Yeah.
And that they're not at odds with each other. And so it's been really, really fun to watch and to listen to the stories of them coming back and telling us what they've done.
Yeah.
And where they volunteered. And like one guy, Drew, who's near and dear, and we'll have him on at some point.
For sure.
But he would go and spend a week volunteering at a camp, for children with special needs, and would just come back filled up.
Yeah.
From serving those kids, exhausted and filled up.
Well, and if I could call it out, like, it's paid time off.
Right.
It's volunteer paid time off. So it doesn't dip into your PTO. I know people try to protect that and guard it for your families, and you should. But to have the opportunity to, for me, by the time this podcast comes out, it will have already happened. But I'm just a couple weeks away from going for 3 days to church youth camp and taking a bunch of our middle school and high school students to go and have this amazing experience this summer. And it's exhausting and it's a lot of work. And in the years past, I haven't been able to do it because it was digging into PTO that was needed to be saved for holidays and other things. And so this is the first time in 3 years that I have the opportunity to actually go serve at this camp.
Awesome.
And it's just awesome that I get that experience because, you're right. You come back, you're fueled, you're excited. You may be tired, but you've going back to what we talked about before and just connecting to your personal mission of serving others. Like, you really do get a lot out of it. And I just think it is encouraging to see, and hopefully for someone listening, they feel empowered that you can, as a business owner or as a leader, you can build in structure to help be a catalyst for building this type of culture, this service type of culture.
Right.
It can't just be lip service. Like, yeah, we want to impact the community, but there's no way, nobody's taking time off to go do it. Nobody's willing to, or you're in an organization where you shame people for stepping away from their desk because they went to go, serve at
it's
their
a logical
school.
flow. You have to decide that you are in for the community first, right? Like we had to make that statement. It had to be added to our mission.
Yep.
And then we had to create a system around that.
Yeah.
To help facilitate accomplishing that mission.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much how it always happens.
Yeah.
And in this case, it just happened to be, our investment into the community. And it's because of the system that it actually works.
Yeah. Yeah. What's cool too is to see, we're not like this massive team, but just to kind of see where people kind of link arms and go and serve together.
Yep.
Hen and I have connected with folks over at Hemophilia of Georgia. What they do to support families with children with bleeding disorders is massive.
Right.
And they do a lot with doctors and providers to help bridge the families into the right offices. And so they work a lot with medical professionals. I mean, they do so much great work. And because of her impact and her going to serve, she was like, hey, you should come to this event with me. And I'm like, great, I'll show up. And then I got connected. And then all of a sudden they pulled me into an advisory council. And so there's all these cool opportunities. There's a board right out here in the office of just.
I was going to say, you stole my thunder. That's one of my favorite places in our office.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
It's in our break room. And there is a board that has pictures of Logic Speak employees volunteering their time together.
Yep.
And the smiles and the various impacts and all the different places that we volunteered.
Yeah.
It's like if you're having a bad day, just go walk over there and have a look at those pictures.
100%.
It'll change your perspective.
100%. And it's fun when they get updated too.
Yep.
When you see some of the new things that have happened.
Yep.
It's just neat, man. Like you mentioned North Fulton Community Charities, doing things to support their efforts and the things that they do in the community. They do so much in this community. It's ridiculous.
I think probably people mostly see them as a food pantry,
yeah,
which of course is a huge work that they do.
Yep.
But they have so many other programs that they do. Sandy is doing such a great job there.
Yeah.
Education for people who want to learn skills and who are preparing for interviews and who are trying to get that next job.
Yes.
And they do poverty simulations to help educate people like us who haven't touched poverty in a good long while, and in to fact, understand what it's like.
Wouldn't that be a great team activity for someone to take either their direct team or their organization to go take a few hours and go experience that?
Yep. Oh, it's an incredible place.
Yeah. One of the places that I've really leaned into is the Rotary Club of Alpharetta, because that's the town that our office is in, and this is our direct backyard. And the Rotary International motto is service above self, which aligns well to, kind of Air Force core values going back to my time in the military and kind of how I was raised, and very similarly to you with just service and, the experience of serving in the church and all of that growing up. And so one of the things that they do that I got to be a part of just last week was there's all these local grocery stores that when something can't be on the shelf anymore in the bakery, they pull it off and they donate it immediately.
Wow.
And so we have scheduled, and it's great because our club is so passionate about helping in this specific area that I had to get like 8 weeks out. I had to sign up because there are people that have signed up on the Sign Up Genius for weeks in advance. But it's simple. You get the instructions. You figure out what grocery store. They tell you what grocery store you're going to. You go and pick up all the baked goods. We call it a bread run. And you take it to the North Fulton Community Charities food pantry. And then they take it and they put it out and distribute it that day.
Wow.
And so the coolest part was last week was the last week of school for my son. And literally all they had that day was a class party. And so I took him to school late, and he went with me to do the bread run. Cool. And so he got to be a part of that service above self that have a positive impact on the lives of our clients, employees, and community. Now, just by being here, proximity to Logic Speak and our mission, my son, a generational impact gets to occur, which is so cool.
So good.
And as a result, just on Friday, he won an award. His Christian Character Award was Generosity. And his teacher called out from the stage, "You went and did a service project with your dad this week." And I was like, I've never been in a role where I had the freedom to go and do that type of thing in the morning of a work day, because that's part of who we are.
Yeah.
And that's just so powerful.
What a proud dad moment.
Yeah, big time. And it's just got to be a proud owner moment as well. Just to know that like you've helped set the stage for things like that to happen.
And that's changing the world.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It really is. Man, I love this backyard principle. It really is who we are. We've put a lot of effort into being for the people of our community. And I'm just excited to see the positive impact it's going to have and continue to have, because I think we're well on our way. And I think when it comes to a sales cycle or a business strategy, this is our differentiator.
Yep.
You can find an IT provider anywhere.
Yep.
But this is our differentiator. This is who we are. This is our DNA, and I'm excited that I get to be a part of it. Any closing thoughts here?
No, it's you said this, but I'll say it again, that more people know who we are, not because, yes, we do great work. Yes, it's, would I love for everyone to know who we are because of the IT work that we do? Sure. but more people know who we are because of what we've done in the community and because of how we show up in the community. And you know, you're a massive part of that. So, thank you so much for how well you represent Logic Speak. And it's been fun to watch and to get to partner alongside you with that.
Man, it's been great. It's going to be a lot of fun to continue it. Well, thank you to anybody who chose to listen to this episode, and we'll be back with more. Jason, I appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good one.